All right, there we go. Now we're talking. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what we're doing is we're setting up a live stream for Tales in the Night. I'm Chris Foust, so just hang in there with me because I'm really trying to dial this in for you guys. You can check us out on any of these platforms: Kick, YouTube, Instagram, and X. Hopefully everything is working right. If it is, great. I can tell that everything is going through good on YouTube. So if you guys want to check us out there, if you're not getting any audio, just let me know. But I'm going to show you a couple things tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the drones and some connections to the Miami Mall incident as well, which happened last year. But guess what? We're coming up on the anniversary of that. So that is very, very important to look at. So a couple things. How I'm going to do this is a little bit similar to how I was doing the videos before. So I've changed a few things. So you probably have seen a few videos that I posted on Instagram, and then definitely a few videos that I posted onto YouTube as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment on a few things that are out there right now that I feel desperately need to be commented on, and we need to talk about it. Now, you'll notice that there's a number right down below. That number, you can call in, and I can put you on the live stream. Okay, so you can call that number if you want to talk to me, if you want to give me any kind of information on this subject that we're about to talk about. So that's the drones. That's going to be the Miami Mall, aliens, whatever you want. If you've seen some drones, okay, I want to know that if you've seen some drones. I want to know that. If you've had something happen to you. Now, I'm going to say this, okay, because there's a lot of people out there who have had some really weird stuff happen to them only recently since these drones have been showing up. And what it is, they've been hearing loud booms in the middle of the night, okay? Nothing like a sonic boom, okay, but something, just loud booms coming from the sky. You know, it's happened during the day too, so we're going to check out a few of those videos if we can get to that. I'll stay streaming as long as you guys are out there and you guys want to listen and watch. I mean, really, it's something that you can definitely watch it. I'm going to watch a few videos here, comment on them. But if you just want to listen, that's fine too. And if you definitely want to call, you want to call that number that's right down below on the bottom of the screen. So that's 316-333-3312. Just call that number. You're going to be put into a queue, and then you can go live with me, and you can talk to me, and I'll put you on the air. So if you want to do that, tell me your story because I'm interested, okay? Now, there's other things too. There's going to be some chats and stuff like that that are up. So if you want to check out those chats and you want to post something, let me know. I'll check out the chats and I'll watch that as well too. But for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over what I think these drones are. And, you know, there's some speculation out there, and I got to say, it's kind of scary. Now, why would it be scary, right? Why should we be afraid of something like this? Well, I think part of it is, why shouldn't you be afraid, right? So if you ask yourself that question, why shouldn't you be afraid of aircraft that the government is saying is okay? Now, they're saying they don't know what they are, but they're saying, don't worry, it's okay. Just go ahead and trust us. It's okay. That is something that I think it's scary to me. That is really scary. So I definitely want us to go into that and talk a little bit more. One of the things that I'm going to do, because this is live, so I'm going to try to bring a few things up for. I want to try to bring a few things up here for Instagram, because it appears as though Instagram might not have gone through. So hold on, guys, 1 second. We're live, so I'm trying to work this through as we go. So let's take a look and see what we have here on our channels. And well, that's interesting. I'm showing a couple things here. So hold on 1 second, because I want to make sure that everybody who's on Instagram is seeing this program as well too. and then we can get going to talk about these drones. Okay, so 1 second here. We're going to get this thing going. Okay, so for right now, if anybody can, just let me know if you guys are seeing this. I might have to, I'm sorry guys, but it looks like it's only YouTube that's running. So I'm going to keep running with YouTube, and we'll figure out Instagram at another time for sure. Okay, so going back to these drones, what are these drones and why are they so bad? I think that they're bad because if the government knows, it's not telling us. If the U.S. government knows what they are, they're not telling us anything about it, that's a problem. The problem then comes into what are these drones doing? What are they capable of? Who is flying them? And there's been some reports about Iranian motherships out on the East Coast, 100 miles out. Now, when they say motherships, I do think they're talking about actual ships, Navy ships that are sending drones up. I don't think they're talking about large aircraft type ships that are hovering out there. However, that speculation has been thrown around. I don't think that's the case. The other thing is that you got to think in terms of if they know and they're denying what it is, it might be something with the Department of Defense, so the DOD. If it's part of the Department of Defense and they're involved in this, there could be something very strategic that's being planned. Now, Christmas is coming up. I'm not trying to kind of, scare anybody into thinking that something bad is going to happen, but I do think that something is coming really soon. It seems as though, in my opinion, they could be, it's just an opinion, but they could be testing out technology that is wargaming as far as something on the coastal front, right? New Jersey's on the East Coast. Maybe it's something that is trying to war game possible scenarios of nuclear, possible scenarios of, I don't want to say an invasion, but just a war front on the East Coast side. You know, these drones are popping up everywhere. So what's interesting is that when they start popping up, you got to ask yourself, is it copycats? Or are there just guys out there with drones that are flying them? Maybe it's possible. But who has a drone that's the size of a van, right? Because that's what is being reported, that these are the size of a car or a van. Who has that? Nobody has that out there. And not that I know of in the drone community. I am a drone pilot, and I'm also a drone instructor. So I've never heard of anything that large that's in the private community. Now, I've heard of, obviously, things like Lyft or Uber, right? And how they want to invest in this kind of technology, flying cars that can take people. That's not what this is, okay? Now, if you think that that's what this is, that's okay. But what I'm trying to say is that that's not what this is. This is something completely different. These drones are doing something incredible when it comes to understanding like the technology behind these drones is not something I think Uber has, if that makes sense. There's been guys who have taken their own personal little tiny drones and they've flown them up to the drones themselves. Once they start getting up into the air, their battery dies, right? Once they start going near the drones, their drone falls out of the sky. It's anti-drone technology from the drone. But yet when the military uses their own anti-drone technology on these drones, they're not getting any kind of response. These drones aren't falling out of the sky. There's talk that they are manned aircraft, and that's fine. We'll get into that. But there's also talk about the fact that they could be flown by AI. So there could be some type of artificial intelligence that's flying these drones. Now, if that's the case, if we have aircraft that cannot be taking taken down by anti-drone technology because it's simply aircraft. It's not being controlled by a radio frequency from a control station up to the craft itself and then back and forth and communicating. If that's the case, and they can't be taken out that way, then yeah, sure, there's something is piloting them either inside or it is some type of artificial intelligence. So it's the craft is told to make maneuvers, and when it makes the maneuvers, then it's told to essentially disappear, right, when it's being watched, okay, because they black out, they go dark when somebody tries to follow them or when they're being approached or when they're being watched, they go dark. So that tells me there's some type of intelligence behind it. That intelligence is obviously trying to pinpoint certain things on the ground. If it's artificial intelligence, that makes a little bit more sense, right? And so artificial intelligence could be a key to it. It could be. The DoD could also be a key to this as well, too. Wargaming this is a very serious thing. That is the one thing that I'm the most worried about. I'm incredibly worried about the fact that it's one thing to say that it's aliens, and it's one thing to say that it's Project Bluebeam. If you don't know what Project Bluebeam is a concept that was introduced into ufology back in the 90s, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, it was Roger Lear who introduced that, but I could be mistaken on that, so we'd have to look that up. But it was something to the effect of there's going to be three types of events, right? There's going to be like a terrorist event. There's going to be a plague. There's going to be, all this stuff that the deep state, okay, is doing in order to create fear, in order to create a one world government, in order to kill the markets, kill the currency, all this other stuff. I find it very interesting, this whole play for Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam then is it's the end all, okay? It's the thing that puts us into the Great Reset into 2030. Project Bluebeam essentially is a holographic display that the government has, the military, or I don't know what kind of special deep state operations would have this, that projects holographic displays that look real, that seem real. I mean, talk about going to see Twisters in 4D at a movie theater and you think, it felt like I was really in a tornado. This is something that's going to be projected in front of you, and you won't even be able to tell if it's real or not. And I think that's the key thing. You will not be able to tell if is it real or is it fake. Like, it seems real. It's in front of me, but I can't tell. It's a hologram. It looks incredibly, incredibly real. Now, that's Project Bluebeam. Now, that's a theory. It's not necessarily a conspiracy theory. It's more of a UFO theory in a way. But there, I guess you could add some conspiracy to that, right? Because there is a plan to take some kind of action with this. I'm going to say this, though, and this is what's really interesting about it, is that everything seems to ramp up when certain dates come around. So we're going to talk about this a little bit. The Miami Mall incident. The aliens that appeared in the Miami Mall last year. Now, it wasn't really last year. It's going to be last year on January 1st, right? It's January 1st of 2024. And here's the thing. I'm going to try to find a few clips for you that we can play, because I want to make my point on this, is that the Miami Mall happened January 1st of 2024, but it also, you could go back in time just one more year, back to 2023. You go back to that point, and all of a sudden, it's the same story that was being reported by the news outlets in Miami. And it was very just weird. It felt very Mandela effect-ish, okay? It felt as if time itself was being compressed, right? And all of these different dimensions were just falling in at this point, reference point, which seems to be around this time of the year. Now, the other thing is, too, President Trump, elect, has obviously been elected by the country and is now coming into play. Whether you love him or hate him, it doesn't matter to me. What I'm trying to say is that the fact that he's now coming in if he's not a puppet, and you can think what you want of him, if you think he's a puppet of the deep state or not, but if he's not, then chances are he would be wrecking the upcoming deep state initiative of the global reset for 2030. He could wreck that. He could destroy that, essentially by taking the U.S. out of the equation. Now, that could be something that they're worried about. And if they're worried about that, then wouldn't it make sense to have some type of an action that they could take? I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about deep state now. Okay, take politics out of it. Take the left and the right out of it. And then let's focus on the game. Let's focus on the actual game that's being played. The game is get you to vote for one person or the other, okay, because of your emotions. Get you to divide from the rest of the country because we split down the middle. Now, granted, more people voted for Trump than it wasn't really that close. It was close, but not that close like they were predicting. So there was a big red wave to that. Okay, so I'll give credit where that's due. But at the same time, there was a division put into the country. Okay, people were divided. The left hated the right hated the left. There was no unity. That becomes a problem because in the old days, you know, people, not that I knew, I grew up in the 80s, but I'm trying to go back further, 70s, 60s, 50s. And you can tell me if you want to tell me what you think. But the idea was that the issues that were Democrat and Republican were simply about what the government was going to do with certain things. They didn't include social issues, okay? They didn't include things that would be taken into religious considerations. They didn't really talk about that kind of stuff. That was more of a family thing. That's more of your own personal freedoms, essentially, and you keep that to yourself. You don't make that put into the public sector of things. But then all of a sudden what happened is that there started becoming more division. I think after Kennedy's assassination is what it seems like. It seemed to be more division. And now we're at this breaking point. Well, at this breaking point, guys, look at what's happening. You have Trump is going in, and now all of a sudden we have these drones that are mysteriously showing up. They show up every single night except for Thanksgiving. That makes no sense whatsoever. If they're aliens, do the aliens celebrate Thanksgiving? That is a U.S. holiday. Nobody else was celebrating Thanksgiving on that day. So it doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they be off on that day, but every other night they show up? Now we're going to watch. I do have a couple things that we could take a look at. Let's do this while I am pulling this up for you guys. I will pull up. There is a live stream. We'll live stream another live stream. I'll do that for you guys. Let's take a look at this. There is. It should be going on right now. It should be over in New Jersey. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And I'm going to see, I don't know if there's any sound on this or not, but we're going to pull this up here. And we're going to watch a live stream of New Jersey and see if we see anything. I don't know if we will or not. There you go. Boom. Live stream of New Jersey right there. Okay, so what they're doing is they're watching for these drones, this drone activity, because these drones are showing up every single night. So let's watch it for a little bit while I let you guys know a little bit more about Project Bluebeam and what we're thinking is actually taking place here. So we get to this point to where we have division in this country. The Miami Mall had its aliens, the alien encounter last year. I want to say it's 2024, but it also had something happen in 2023, which is really coincidental. Now we have this. Now this isn't in Miami, but don't get me wrong. There are still UAPs, okay, unidentified aerial phenomena in Miami. There's still UFOs in Miami, and they come right out of the ocean. And a lot of these, I think the reason why they're focused on this is because they're looking for that mothership, that Iranian mothership. How fascinating is that? That, you know, they're 100 miles off the coast. There could be something out there that's sending these drones in through the night. Now, I had a buddy of mine who was in New Jersey, and he was in New Jersey, I want to say it was about It was maybe last week. Was it last week? Or it was a week before. And he was in during this whole spectacle when it was really ramping up and when people were really panicking over this. Now it's more of a novelty. Everybody's just excited about it more than anything. Reminds me of Independence Day. But he said, now get this. You're going to want to hear this. He said he stayed at a hotel that had the drones flying over it, and he didn't think anything of it. But one of the drones flew over the hotel and the power went out. The actual power went out at the hotel. He said it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the power didn't come on for at least 2-3 hours. They couldn't get the power back on. I don't live in New Jersey. I live in Colorado, and I can say that I've never experienced something where the power goes out and it stays out for a long time. He said it was out pretty significantly. He had to use his phone to just check on everything. Now, what I'm trying to say is if these things are going over and they're shutting off power, what kind of technology are they utilizing? Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. What if, hypothetically, what if there's something more to this? Okay, we could possibly think that it's wargaming, that this, whatever's happening out in New Jersey right now with these drones is a war game scenario for something big that's coming. Why would it be wargaming? Because they have to practice certain maneuvers. They have to use their technology that they have, maybe facial recognition technology, AI, if they think it's being powered by AI. They have to use that over a suburban area, a populated area, in order to get accurate data. Now, you could disagree with me if you want, but they need to do something like that for accurate data. They can't just fly these drones over Area 51 or fly them out in the Nevada desert and leave them out there. If they leave them out there flying over makeshift buildings that have nobody in them, I mean, it's not going to give the same experience as a real world war game. Okay, and so I think that's what the concern is here, is that whatever these are, and guys, we're watching live, okay, right now off the coast here, and it's in New Jersey. It looks like it says Seaside Park, New Jersey, and that's the live cam. And we're looking to see if there's any activity, okay? So we're following along with this live. If this is a war game scenario, that's scary to me. Project Bluebeam doesn't feel scary to me. Aliens doesn't feel scary to me. I would think that if aliens were a scary thing, that would have already been in my lifetime. That would have already been since the 40s when Roswell happened and the crash at Roswell and the alien bodies that were recovered. That to me says that there would be a problem with aliens if they would have invaded, if they would have taken over. But instead, it appears, if you want to put on your conspiracy thinking cap, it appears as though, oh, there's something. Look at that right there. Do you guys see that flashing up there? I can't zoom in on that. It's right up in that. If you look to the top, you can see it flashing. I mean, I can see it clear as day. Look at that. Okay, so everybody who's on the vertical screen can't see it. If you can't see it, you can jump over, especially on YouTube, you can jump over to my widescreen, my landscape, if you want to. You can jump over to that and you can see over to the left, you can see the flashing light. Now, that could be aircraft. Okay, but these drones are flashing lights. That's what they're doing. As a matter of fact, we will put up some pictures here shortly of a few of what people have captured as far as these drones go. I will show you that, and I will continue to talk and educate you guys as long as we can, because I think this is important. I think all of this stuff is important. I want you guys to really think, right, with every logical explanation that you can. Could be airplanes. This could be aircraft. This could be our own. Could it be Iranian? I don't know. You can't trust everything, and you got to think, Is that a little far-fetched? A mothership off the coast? I mean, it seems a little far-fetched for Iran. Okay, does it seem far-fetched for Russia and China? Probably not. You know, but either way, the whole thing just kind of smells funky. Doesn't match with me. I think that they could be our own, and I think there might be a mixture. Originally, when this came out, and it's been a month that these drones have been flying around, like I said, every night except for Thanksgiving. I don't know why it's not Thanksgiving. I have no clue. But every night before Thanksgiving, not on Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving. So there's something flying around out there. I think, it's just my own opinion, what if, hypothetically, what if these are alien craft and that's what they originally were? Okay, let's put on our Men in Black thinking caps. What if it was originally extraterrestrial aircraft that was coming through? They said they saw them come out of the water, 50 of them, come out of the water and then over into New Jersey. UAPs, they could be underwater, creatures. There's aliens who, in theory, live out in the ocean, okay? We can go back to Atlantis and all that other stuff, but think about this. Alien aircraft first. How would the government, how would they keep that a secret? Well, they could fill the sky with their own drones. They could just fill the sky with their own drones and fly them around. And that's why some of these pictures, guys, that you're seeing are just regular drone aircraft. And there was a crash, too. We'll try to find that video as well, and I'll show that to you. There was a crash. It looked like a normal drone. Why it crashed, I have no idea. No idea why that thing would crash. Because clearly that would mean that they're flying something that's not safe to fly, especially if it's being powered by AI. But the whole point to this, there's pictures of these craft that look biblical. There's pictures of these craft that look alien. There's pictures of these craft that look like they're U.S. aircraft. They have marker lights on them to indicate direction. Red, green, strobes. They have that kind of stuff. They just look different. Some look fixed wing. Some don't look. And now fixed wing obviously is just a straight wing, right? They look like that. Some don't. Some look just like weird, odd orbs. Okay, they can't figure out what they are. There's another blinking light right up there as I'm watching it. Yeah, you guys on the vertical as well too. If you're watching on vertical, you should be able to see it. But if you want to, you can go over to YouTube on my landscaped live stream. That's going to show up because that light is moving from the right to the left. So you'll be able to see that better if you want to watch that. So that could be something that could be, there could be an airport over there. I have no clue. There could be an airport. That could be planes just moving through. But with everything with drones being this big thing, a buddy of mine once said to me recently, he said, don't call it a drone. Don't call it a drone because drone is what they want you to call it because that's what they call it. Take a look. It's really hard to see. I can't really blow this thing up anymore on here. Let me see if I can. Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right. Now, look, there is... I wish I could show you my cursor over this, but there's a small faint dot now that is on the left side of the screen, just a little bit. It's faint because it's further out and it's moving. It's moving in to the right. Okay, so that could be aircraft that's further out at sea. So is this the beginning of Project Bluebeam? Well, we can talk about that. I'm going to show you another video. So let me get out of this. I'm going to show you another video. So there's a couple things, actually. There's a guy on YouTube who's Canadian prepper. I've watched a few of his videos, especially since he was a long time ago, back before he was as big as what he is now. And he seems to know certain things, but I got to say, he seems very, I don't want to say that he fearmongers people, but he kind of does in a way. Obviously, he might disagree with that, but every breaking news that he has is a World War III update. And yeah, could we be close to World War III? Yes, we could. Could this be war games testing? Yes, it could. Could it be aliens? Absolutely. I will completely agree to any of that. I'll keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Do I think they're Iranian ships? No, but I'll keep an open mind to it. Do I think something with new technology is being released? Yes, I do. I don't think these are private companies. I think this is the government. Have you seen the frequency video where the people in New Jersey are listening to the radio? And the radio itself has some weird, creepy frequency. All right. You ready? If you're done looking at this, I'm done. I'm going to move on to now a couple other things, okay? So let's take a minute to go back here. And if you guys are watching on any of these platforms, if any of them are coming through, great. If they're not going through, YouTube seems to be doing just fine. So if YouTube is working for you guys, then I would stick on YouTube. And but if you're on Kick, you can, and you're not on, if you can't hear it and you want to go over to YouTube, do that. Instagram, I'm not sure if Instagram actually went live tonight, so sorry for that. All right, let's go check out a few things though here, because there was, let's take a look here. All right, so remember, we're live. I'm not editing anything out. I'm just looking for a video that I had seen about this frequency that these drones are giving off. Okay, so hang with me, hang tight, because I'm going to find this for you. It is, where is that at? Okay, maybe I can find that on YouTube and we can play it there. Okay, we'll play everything there because I saw this on Instagram today. Let's see if I can find where they have that frequency coming in at. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to play for you something else, and then we're going to go to that frequency issue, okay? I want you guys to check this out really quick.
To be at least inadvertently trying to somehow relate this to the UFO extraterrestrial phenomenon. That, of course, is a smokescreen, okay? That is a diversion. The goal is to imbue this disinformation into the space so that it discredits valid explanations, parsimonious ones like the one I'm about to tell you today. It has nothing to do with aliens. It has nothing to do with Project Blue Beam, UFO disclosures, the government getting ready to stage some false flag alien invasion. I understand we all need a break from reality, and I'm one of the people who want to believe also. Okay, I'm Mulder as much as the next guy, all right? But you have to be realistic. And I'm going to explain to you what this is, and I'm going to explain why this is an unpopular opinion, and it's one they don't want gaining traction. Because what I'm about to tell you, if the public actually knew, it would trigger widespread panic. And it is also not Iranian submersibles off the East Coast lobbing these drones into U.S. airspace. It could, and the explanation I provided you yesterday, which I believe is the most parsimonious one, albeit does not check all the boxes, as I'm going to explain today, The simplest explanation here is that indeed there are spies within the United States and they operate drones. They are nationals from China, Russia, Iran, North Korea possibly, who are here and they are spying on U.S. critical infrastructure, military bases, sensitive nuclear sites, etc. That is happening. That has happened. People have been arrested. In fact, somebody was arrested in the last week. A Chinese national was arrested for spying on the space base. What is it called? Space Force base. Now, that doesn't explain some of the sightings and the size of these drones, okay? That doesn't explain why these drones are so large and why these drones have beacons on them, why they have their lights on, why on earth would, aliens or spies for that matter, comply with FAA regulations. It's just not going to happen. So there is another explanation as to what is going on here.
Okay, I'm pausing it right here because I'm having an issue with the stream. So I'm going to check the stream. Okay, hopefully it's going through. But I'm going to show you guys a couple things here before we get back into our guy there, the Canadian Prepper. You can check out his YouTube channel. I'm going to pull this up. I wonder if there's a way for me to see that. All right, let's put this in here so you guys can see this. Okay, this is on Instagram. I'm going to unmute this. I want you to listen to this frequency that is happening. I'm going to close that out. That's that noise that I was hearing. Okay. Okay, check this out. Okay, keep this in mind. This is a radio, car radio out of New Jersey. This is the sound that's interfering with the radio itself here. Okay, I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to look. This could be a couple of things. This could be interference with the radio. Certainly could be. It looks like it's FM 106.7. I know I have 106.7 out here. It's very powerful broadcast. I don't know where this is in New Jersey, right? So that's what it says. So I'm assuming 106.7 in New Jersey would be... Oh, interesting. Okay, well, 106.7 is from iHeart, and that's going to be Light FM. Okay, L-I-T-E, Light FM. That's what this 106.7 is in New Jersey. And right now they're playing Christmas music. So you tell me if you think this is Christmas music, if you think it's an issue with the radio station, or if it's part of these drones, they're causing this frequency. Remember what I told you about my buddy of mine? The drone flew over his hotel. The power went out. This is something that could easily be made up. I'll agree with that. In order to get views, this could be something that is it just regular interference. But the fact that it sounds just so different, it actually sounds, if you want to really put on some weird sci-fi hat and go down a rabbit hole with me, it kind of sounds like it could be extraterrestrials talking, right? Or I wouldn't say extraterrestrials. I would just say a creature, because it has this creature feel to it. It has that low rumbling sound, but the frequency pitches are different. Like, see, it low, growl-ish, but then it kind of moves up a little bit. See, there's higher pitches in there. Very interesting. Okay, so I thought that was really something to watch for, because that was something that was really good, in my opinion. Let's see. That is off of 106.7 Light FM. They're supposed to be playing Christmas music now, just so you guys know. Now, here's the other thing that's going on. Let's skip him for right now. Okay, let's watch a little bit of this here. This is going to give us a little bit more information on the drones that are happening out there in Jersey.
These past 2 weeks, there's just been a plethora of civilian UFO videos.
My friend in New Jersey,
New Jersey's
way
the
before
big
everybody
one.
started talking about it, he's called me up. He's like, dude, I'm seeing these drones. They're so big. He goes, they're the size of SUVs.
With New Jersey, there's been at least 1,000 people recorded drones in the sky. Some of them look a little suspect,
Right.
but there's others that are just like, they're literally just sitting there, and they're just kind of like doing this, and then there's like 3 of them.
If they are drones, what are you guys doing? Are you surveilling us now?
Yeah, and why is the FBI being like, we're going to investigate it? It's if they're drones, like,
Wouldn't
if
you know?
that are the size
Yeah.
of cars, you should probably figure that out pretty quick, you know?
In our airspace.
That's the weirdest thing. If you're asking me what they're doing, they're collecting data on how people are going to react to this.
I think so
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
How are
smart.
people going to react to seeing something in the sky that they can't explain?
It really seems like these past 2 weeks, there's just been.
Okay, so that's really interesting, right? They're talking about the fact that there are different, it seems like there are some civilian aircraft involved. So we do know that. We do know those markers. But then there's other ones that are photographs. There's photographs out there, guys, that are crazy, insane. Let me see if I can find some of those photographs. This one here, if you guys want to watch this one. This doesn't appear to have any sound to it. They're going out into the ocean. Okay, so that's the ocean, and that's where they're dropping down into. Now, you could say they're drones. I will not disagree with you. They could be drones. The police were going crazy. You could hear in the audio, not from this, obviously. This doesn't have the audio to it for some reason. But there are police with their sirens. There's fire trucks with their sirens trying to figure out what this is. And they're going crazy over this. And somebody just sat there and just recorded this whole thing. So is that the Iranian? Are they going back to the Iranian mothership that's sitting out there? To me, it looks like they're going down into the ocean. There's the fire truck going by. Now, hypothetically, there could have just been an emergency out there. Who knows? But this is interesting because this gives us a little bit more. But see, to me, that looks like drones. I'm sorry. It just looks like drones to me. They're not, they hit the horizon of the water, the ocean that's out there, because that's what that is. Okay. They hit the horizon and they disappear. If they're out on the horizon, doesn't it make sense to say that they're bigger and brighter than what a typical drone would be? Because a typical drone show that you would see in the sky would be not far, quarter mile, half mile. That's where they would be from you. Then they'd go up and then they'd do their show and then they would go back down. You're not going to see a drone show from something that's way out in the ocean on the curvature of the earth, whatever you want to say to that, but something that's far out there to where it's actually going over past the curve and then out into the ocean and then maybe dropping into the water. I don't know. This is fascinating though. Okay, if you have any kind of comments, let me know. what you think of this, or you can give me a call too if you want to talk about it. Yeah, I think that, I mean, to me, it could be drones. That could be, but I don't want to say just that it's drones because it is fascinating. And if I was doing a drone show like that and I was sending my drones out to the ocean for what? For a viral video on Twitter that doesn't even have my name mentioned on it? How am I going to make money off that? Okay, so here's another one. Drones that are over New York right now. Let me see if I can get this. Okay, so if you're watching on the vertical on YouTube, you might want to switch over to my landscape on YouTube because you can see 3 of them on the landscaped version of what we're looking at. Oh, they see something else out there, don't they? It's just hard to tell what these are. Now, this is over New York. Supposedly, it's happening right now. Now, see, that's a plane. That is clear. That's not a plane, but it's identifiable aircraft. You got green and red. Identifiable markers. Now, if that thing just did some weird maneuver on me, then I might think otherwise on it, but it looks like it would be a fixed-wing aircraft. That's a plane. That's clearly a plane right there. So what are we looking at here? I'll watch it one more time, but I think these are planes. But see, they all move out from those 4, move out away from each other, which is interesting. They have markers. That one, oh, that one moved away pretty quick. This also, let me tell you, this could be a issue of perception, like depth perception, if that makes sense. A perspective. One could be closer than the others. Now, a lot of people are going to try to get their videos viewed as much as they can. So let's see. Let's see if we can find some other things here. I remember this video. You guys want to look at this really quick? I remember this video. This video, 1979, I remember seeing this video before, and it shows the aircraft up in the air. They're kind of like UFOs. They're just kind of like glittering up there and like shimmering, I would say. Let's take a look here.
If I do get a coaching job, though, I'd like to be hired just to bed check and do things that are important around the training facility.
You'd be my first employee.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, what is that?
What is that?
You keep saying, take us to your leader. I don't know.
Now, that's another guy I'm going to hire, whoever's responsible for that. Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
Interesting. Interesting. Wow. I have seen that before, and these lights are definitely very similar. Is this one real or is this fake? Let's take a look at this one really quick here. That's interesting. This could be fake. Doesn't it appear as though... Okay, so a lot of times these UAPs will create this triangular pattern similar to this. This seems fake to me. This seems fake. Just the way that they move, the way that they're lit up and flash. It just kind of seems a little fake to me, but I'll defer to you guys. What you guys think about that? Okay. That seems fake as well, right there. If you guys want to take a look at that, you can. That seems fake. I remember 10, 15 years ago, really when videos were just kind of the big thing for the internet, and there was UFO videos that were like this, that were CGI. They appeared like that. So don't believe everything that you see when you see it out there. This one looks like standard air traffic coming into an airport on a, oh, look, that's Starlink up there. Look at this. You can see Starlink. It looks like Starlink up in the sky. However, what's interesting is that this is on a time lapse. Starlink moves a lot faster. So that is quite interesting, whatever's in the sky, in space up there. That is actually quite interesting. I theorize that it's Starlink, though, just the way that it's put together. Okay, so this says ABC News crew captures clear footage of UFO. Let's see this one.
Up like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay.
Now, Sandra, you know, when things
There you
like
go.
this are happening, it seems everyone starts to
Okay,
look
so
up
that's the news crew, guys. That's interesting. That's the news crew that captured that. So the news crew is actually capturing this orb. That's what I was trying to say in the beginning. It seems as though there's UAPs that might clearly be outside of the realm of physics and everything else that we could possibly think of. Might be some advanced technology. And it's caught by the New Jersey ABC Channel 7, it looked like. So how fascinating is that? Maybe the government, maybe something is happening. Maybe something is happening. And what have people said before about, what have they said before about aliens? Like if somebody's been abducted by aliens, they've said they're not here to hurt us. They're here to protect us from nuclear annihilation. What if, like I said, what if there is some kind of war gaming going on? What if there is something big that's coming? And these things are out there to watch over and to stop it if it happens. It's like they're not going to make themselves known, right? They're far more intelligent than us. They don't need to make themselves known. We're a very primitive society, even now. We are. And just think about how our minds work, right? We are all about chaos, and we're driven by dopamine effects, you know, that our technology is cursing us with. They probably have no use for us whatsoever. Maybe we're in a petri dish. I have no clue. But when I see something like this, I see the fact that there is something clearly unidentifiable there in the sky, and the news is capturing it over New Jersey. But we just saw actual airplanes flying, because there still needs to be air traffic. That's the other thing. There still needs to be air traffic flying. Sometimes people can get things confused and get things mixed up because they can think in terms of aircraft being these drones, right? Some people don't know. They don't know what to look for when it comes to that. This looks fake. We can look at it. This looks incredibly fake. But just so you guys can see it, I don't buy that one bit. I just don't. None of that looks real to me. That's caught on a ring cam. You know, it looks like it's edited, highly edited. Yeah, doesn't look real at all. But you can let me know if you think that's real or not. I don't think it is. A crashed drone from December 13th from yesterday. Yep, that's great. The aliens are drunk. Okay, so let's go. This is that looks like a drone. Let's see. I can turn on the audio if you guys want to hear this. That's a drone. You can easily tell. So is this what people are seeing, right? Is this what people are seeing? Are they seeing this? Is this what's over New Jersey? I mean, let me know if you think this is what's over New Jersey or not. Because I don't think this is over New Jersey at all. I don't think so. I don't think that's it. That's just normal drones. That's a toy, guys. That's a toy. Right? Something like this. I don't know. I just don't know if this is real or not. I mean, everybody's faking stuff. You know, everybody's trying to jump on this. And you got real people out there who want to know the answers. They want to know what's really going on. I'm in Colorado, so I don't know what's happening in New Jersey. But I can tell you that if something's happening out there that's unexplained, I would want somebody to actually report on it legitimately versus trying to just fake stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if that's real or not. Okay, well, this one looks interesting. What is this? Oh, meanwhile, in the China skies. Oh, look at that. Look at this. I wonder if that's real. I know I've seen a couple of videos. They seem really distressed. That sounded like an explosion at the end. That sounded like an explosion right at the end when it looked like one of them kind of blew up and then you could hear it. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, pilots are seeing these things. Now, pilots have been seeing these things for a long time. And I got to tell you, they're afraid to report any of this stuff. Okay, here's another one. New Jersey residents are experiencing electromagnetic interference. Okay, let's check this out. I'll start this from the beginning here. I'm not going to guarantee because I'm watching this with you guys. Oh, I'm not going to guarantee if this is legit or not. That's that same frequency, 106.7, and that's that same sound that we heard. So this is a totally different radio that's picking this up. That's pretty intense.
What the fuck?
Sorry for the language. I'm not bleeping any of this stuff out. I'm looking at it like you guys are.
It's supposed to be Christmas music.
Yep. I told you that's what it's supposed to be. Christmas music. It's on their website. Yeah, this is creepy. Low frequencies and high frequencies. And high frequencies put in.
It's supposed to be Christmas music.
Wow. That's pretty intense. Okay, so that gives us some kind of validation that there's somebody else who recorded that same exact thing on that channel. If you guys want to see the channel here, I'll pull that up for you so you can see it too. This is it. 106.7 Light FM. It's supposed to be Christmas music right now. It's in New Jersey. So she's correct. That's what that's supposed to be. I don't know what any of this is. I'm just kind of scrolling through, just like we're all experiencing this at the same time. I mean, that's interesting. Something's inside the tree. That's interesting, like a rock or something. It's interesting. Okay, this guy gives his...
in Wichita, Kansas.
He's a drone guy.
I'm
Let's
not
listen to him
normally
here.
a TikTok kind of a guy. I like watching this stuff every once in a while. But I'm a manufacturer of unmanned aircraft, military-grade unmanned aircraft, as you can see one of my systems here.
Nice.
There's all of these mysterious drones going on off the East Coast, and as a professional, as a subject matter expert, I wanted to give you all my opinion on what I think could be going on with these drones. I don't particularly believe that these have a nefarious intent. I could be wrong, but I want to give you the truth and what I believe. It's my own opinion, and I've not bounced this off of anybody. So, you know, if you think it's bullshit, whatever, that's cool. You know, I don't want to spread misinformation, as we know that there's a lot of that going around. But anyway, back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay, we don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that come up missing here in the United States, and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys, or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, you mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an aircraft, an unmanned aircraft at night, is if you're looking for something, whether it be a person or trying to smell gas. We have methane gas detection systems that can detect gas leaks in pipelines. You really wouldn't use thermal optics for trying to find gas leaks, just simply because the only way you're actually going to find a gas leak with thermal optics is if the gas leak is aggressive enough that it has a difference in temperature. Because thermal imaging, it creates a digital image based off of the temperature variance. So whatever is different in temperature, it creates an image. Usually gas leaks so slow that it goes quickly into ambient, before you can even see it. So we have special sensors that can detect gas leaks. We also have special sensors that can detect radioactive material. So with this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead, none of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So, my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground. Gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever. So, and do I think that that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life. They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric, but those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multi-copter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back. It's just physics will not allow that to happen. So these drones, I believe, are launched from a location that nobody knows, but I do believe that they're flying low enough that they're just trying to sniff the ground and try to find something. So again, I hate to be a pessimist or a guy that thinks directly to the negative. However, I know as a professional,
yeah, you can see right here. Okay, look at his stuff and look at his drone in the back. Okay, he's a professional. We get it. He's a professional. Here's the thing. What he's saying is there's a nuke that was supposed to come from Ukraine over to America, and it's lost. It's gone. And the only time you would send a drone up, especially a drone like that, and that's not the size of a car, but I'm going to say if the bigger drones that the military, the DOD would have, that is a huge hypothetical option. This is something that could logically be happening right now, which to me is even scarier than Project Bluebeam or scarier than any kind of alien invasion or any kind of attack like that. That's incredible. But here's the thing. We just saw that video where it had the ABC News caught that one UAP hovering in the air that looked just incredibly odd. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's think about this for a minute. This guy's saying he thinks all the drones are, he thinks that they are our drones, right? And what he's saying is there's a nuke that's missing, supposedly coming from Ukraine to America, and it's missing. And they're looking for it. And he says, the only reason why you'd fly drones at night is if you're looking for something. How freaking incredible is that? I mean, listen, if you're listening to this, think about it. They're looking for a nuke in New Jersey. That is some pretty scary stuff. If that's possible, if this guy's on ball, well, like if he's on target with what he's saying, like if he's on the ball with this, that's incredible. That's incredible stuff. I needed to fix something over here, but let's keep looking here. That's just incredible, incredible stuff. Now, this is saying Iran air defense is attempting to shoot down alien UFOs. That's interesting. I'm assuming it's pretty interesting. There's no sound to this one. I don't have any sound on this one. But what it's looking like is that they're trying to shoot down that light that's up there. So that could be a drone or something. But this is saying it's Iran that's doing that. So this is Iran trying to shoot it down. Okay, they're all watching it. Wow. So they're trying to shoot something down. And that says it's Iran. You never know when people post that stuff where this video was actually taken. Okay, here we go. Here's, looks like another drone. That one's kind of hard to see, hard to tell what that is. I mean, that obviously it's hard to tell if that's, are they shooting at that thing? Wait a minute. Are they shooting at this thing? They are shooting at it. Somebody is shooting at that thing from the ground. Am I missing something here? Am I missing something? Okay. I'm watching this for the first time. So I'm going to go with that this is fake. And I want to tell you why really quick here. In this moment, the rounds that are coming out are, obviously you can see them. They're tracer rounds, it looks like. And they're heading towards that craft. If I were to play this, watch those rounds. They don't follow, they follow the camera movement like they're being overlaid, like it's a transparent CGI effect that's being overlaid on top of existing drone footage. See how they move with the camera? They move with the camera, and they stay, they're at a great distance, but they stay on this side of the power lines, which is really interesting. So I don't think this is real. I don't think this is real. The way that they move, I don't think that that's real at all. Oh, okay. ABC News is that video is an out of focus star. Hey, thanks for letting me know that on the chat. I appreciate that. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to the chats because I'm going through, but thanks for telling me about that. That could be an out of focus star. I agree with that. When light travels through our atmosphere, it does make some weird patterns. So I totally get that. However, why is it that ABC, like the news anchor and the cameraman, you got two people there, why would they think it's a drone and not an out of focus star? Don't you think that, and I'm not trying to say that, everybody is at the level of thinking in terms logically about that, but who's to say that, the cameraman isn't, an astronomy major or something? I don't know. And he probably said, well, that doesn't look like any star that I've ever seen before. Let's film it. It's possible. So I do agree with you. That is a huge hypothetical and very logical explanation. So thank you for sending that to me. I think this one is fake, though. This video here is fake. Oh, well, this is interesting. I mean, this looks like a power glitch, but this would creep me out. Oh, I don't want the music. That's for sure. Sorry about that. This would creep me out. This, if I walked out to my car, this would creep me out. I wouldn't like to see this. I would think Stranger Things or something was happening at this point. Hey, things are happening. Things are weird all over the world right now. What is this? Is this China? What is this? What is this? Let's look at this. I wonder where this is in. I don't really like the music too much. I don't like it when people put music on their stuff. Huh. I wonder if that's missiles. I wonder if those are missiles or something. Meteorites. I mean, you got me. I mean, something falling out of the sky. So that's really interesting. I don't know what that could be. Let's see. What else is there? A lot of stuff on these drones. I think people are getting a couple of these drones confused with actual aircraft. You got to remember, we went through an entire pandemic that people were putting out misinformation and being completely confused on a lot of stuff. So, social media has its ups and its downs. And one of the good things about social media is you get information very quickly. And you just have to have your skeptic hat put on in order to really in order to detect when things are fake, when things are real, and what to believe. And you really have to just trust your gut on everything. Sometimes it's just CGI. Sometimes people are looking for views. Drones are being reported over the U.S. Capitol. Oh, let's see. I mean, I could entertain this maybe. It's just hard to say. It's hard to say what any of this is. I mean, that clearly looks like the U.S. Capitol, and it looks like there's something flying in the background. You can't tell from here if that's what type of aircraft that is. That clearly is indicated. Okay, so that does look a little bit different. Yeah, okay, so there's three of them. There's three of them. This is new video. It looks like, at least it's showing up as new video. But if you guys think if this is older video, it could be. That's the other thing too. People post old stuff all the time. And then everybody gets so confused about what is real. Oh, so I did want to bring up a few things. Okay, so a couple things is the connection to this, not this video, but the connection to these drones that are flying right now, and the connection to the Miami Mall incident. I'm going to look that up really quick because the Miami Mall had, if you don't know, there was speculation, rumors surfaced on the social media channels that January 1st of 2024, there was a portal that opened up. Okay, let's just throw out there what the story is, right? A portal opened up inside the Miami Mall. Everybody panicked. Everybody ran because 3 large 12-foot tall, 15-foot tall creatures, dark, translucent, void of light, stepped through the portal and started to approach the people that were in the mall. Everybody ran. There was gunfire, fireworks, something to that effect, and hundreds of cop cars surrounded the mall. There were Black Hawk helicopters that flew over the mall. This was huge when it came to the whole alien agenda. And what the connection is to this is that all of this drone footage, all of this stuff that's coming up is right now, we're coming up to January 1st of 2025. So we're coming up to that year. It's like it's cyclic. There's another thing that's also happening. There is a planet that people claim to see. And let's not call it a planet. Let's get planet out of our head. Let's say that it's an object in space next to the moon that is the size of the moon. And it also seems to be void of any light, and it doesn't reflect a lot of light, but it can reflect some light. And it was seen around this time last year. Okay? Hypothetically, when you think about the rotation of the Earth around the sun and how the sun goes around, it seems as though when we rotate into certain space, okay, we have to think three-dimensionally here. When we're rotating in a calendar year and we get back to that annual year, it's cyclic. We're back in the same spot. I just find it very fascinating that this is taking place inside of the same spectrum of time as what the alien mall and that plant, I can't say planet, but that object in the sky looked like another moon, looked like a second moon. So I can find that for you if you want. Let me look really quick here. Actually, let's watch something really quick while I'm looking here. We'll go back to Canadian Prepper and see what he thinks these drones are.
Is something that very likely could be the case. Now, with that, the latter, the spy hypothesis, the reason why the government is trying to promulgate these theories and the reason why you're seeing these fake videos that are obviously fake being amplified so that they can later be debunked and discredited, well, the purpose of that is to act as a smokescreen. It's to saturate the space, to convolute it, and to make it so that, nobody knows what the hell is going on, and it's just a big imbroglio. They want to inject as much disinformation into the space to take attention away from the fact that indeed we're in a global war. It's a hybrid war. Spies are currently active. Sleeper cells are not active yet. They should be at some point, obviously, once this war kicks off, of course. it's like a 0 day. You don't want to use it until the final hour, until that proverbial day X. That's when those sleeper cells get turned on. But they also want to take attention away from this because, of course, people would panic if they knew that there were these spies in the country. But people would panic more so if they knew that there were nuclear weapons that were smuggled into the country, possibly, and that these drones that are surveilling the space, be it at airports or sensitive sites, are actually nuclear detection drones. This is a technology which has been around for a long time. It can detect using various sensors. It can detect nuclear.
That's what that other guy was saying. That is exactly what that drone expert was saying, is that they're trying to detect. They only fly at night. Drones only fly at night in order to find something. And that's what they're doing, is that they're trying to find this nuclear device that came from Ukraine.
Radiation that's emitted from nuclear weapons. And if the public was told, I want you to just think about this for a second. If in New Jersey or New York, they said that, hey, we suspect that a nuclear weapon was smuggled in, and of course, remember, the United States has a lot of adversaries right now, arguably more than at any time in history, and it's cumulative, so all the wars that we fought over the last 50 years, a lot of people still want revenge. If the public was told, hey, there's a nuclear bomb possibly somewhere, but we're looking for it, don't worry, do you think this would trigger mass panic and people would hedge their bets and try to get out of the city? Absolutely, they would. This would upend the economy. This would undermine an otherwise still teetering on the brink of collapse, but still roaring, sky-high, overvalued economy that is on the brink of collapse. And all it would take was the right black swan, not even a black swan, but the fear of a black swan event, the collective hysteria that there might be a black swan event, to bring the whole thing to a halt and to crash the markets. So the government has a vested interest in not leveling with people that indeed these drones that we are seeing are what you're seeing right here. This is a nuclear detection drone. It fits all of the specs that many of the eyewitnesses are indicating these drones.
No, I disagree with that, because they are saying that these drones are as big as vehicles, if not bigger. And there was a crashed one just recently too. I don't know how real it is, but there was a crashed one. So if you go back and look at his picture, there's no way. That's not the size of a car. And plus, this is a vertical takeoff and landing type drone. This is not a fixed wing. And what we were seeing, there are a lot of fixed wing drones circling the skies. Yes, there are drones that are hovering, so they would be vertical takeoff and landing. But I don't know if he's correct in this. I mean, he could be, but I just don't know if he's correct in that. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up so the Miami Mall, that let's talk a little bit about that one. I'll watch this with you guys here if you guys want to see this.
About on that.
Catch me up on that one.
Okay, so you know how it started, right? Like you're in on the whole original story where they were like reporting
I remember the one that was it in Phoenix? It was somewhere, and this was like 2 or 3 years ago. I think I heard about it from you guys, and
I think the Las Vegas ones.
Las Vegas.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then like the house was abandoned, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Which also, by the way, was a year ago.
That's the last So maybe that's. I don't know about the Miami.
Miami's crazy. I'll let
Yeah, so there was a mall in Miami.
First week of January.
Yeah, literally the first week.
day.
Yeah.
And
This year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the beginning of 2024. And there was a incident at the Miami Mall. I don't know what the mall's name is, but I literally saw a thing today about it. 183 police cars showed up to the mall, and there's people running out saying there's aliens. There's this 8-foot, 10-foot tall black dark shadow figure.
Someone mentioned a portal had opened up.
That's how many like cops showed
That's
up.
funny that you say that. Hold on, I'm getting to
Yeah,
that.
if you can't see that on the
So
if you can't see that on the vertical, go over to the one that we have on YouTube that is more the horizontal. It's the larger screen. If you can't see that on the vertical.
what came out was that it was just a bunch of dudes fighting with sticks.
And then there was rumors of fireworks.
Yeah,
They threw
fireworks,
that in later.
Sticks.
Which explain the
nothing.
fireworks.
But there was no video from the mall or the cops. There's no body cams, no dash cams,
Right.
nothing.
No,
And the
in people inside the mall. It was a packed mall. No one has a video recording of any interior footage.
Right.
How does that make sense?
Like if I had a buddy in the backyard who was shooting fireworks at someone, I'm pulling out my phone and filming that. You're telling me no one in the mall.
Well, and also, how many cops? How many cop cars?
180. I think it was like 180 cop
Okay,
cars.
so
That's like 3,000
so-
cops. You do the math.
Do you know how many cops they put in the cars?
It's like a clown car, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think like of all of that. Not one person had a body cam on. Not
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah.
Or they're not reporting it, or they're not showing it.
Right. Well,
We would have seen it at one point. We would have seen it. That like that's not accessible.
But
Like,
here's the crazy thing that I literally saw tonight, was that someone came out and said, or multiple people said that a portal opened, and it's
It's
gonna get
wacky.
weird. It's gonna
It's
get really
wacky.
weird.
Dude,
Bear
let's
with
go.
me for
Let's
a
go.
second.
That's okay.
I'm really trying to rationalize this in my head, but then people from the Navy came out of the portal, got the creatures, pulled them back in, and then when they literally question the police,
yeah,
like in an interview, they're like, we were told that there was a portal that opened and there was Navy officials that came out, and they're like, we cannot divulge further on this information. Instead of saying, what are you talking about?
Right.
They said, we cannot speak into this manner anymore.
cool.
Right.
So that's a yes.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah.
that's
But what does
confirmation.
that mean?
Dude, I don't know. But that's the thing. Why, like when it comes out later, I remember it was like a day or two later, there was rumors of like the police were saying the kids had fireworks inside the mall. But it's like if people were seeing flashes of light or something, like could that not be like, we're just say it was like fireworks or something? If like some witness says they saw something kind of crazy, it was a firework going off. That's
Yeah, but a portal is a
explanation.
portal, dude.
I know, but like that's the thing. It's like how does no one come out
That's why
and say
people
I was
are
there?
running scared for their life because they're just like,
So interesting. Stop this here. Yeah, I don't like that music at the end. Okay, so what they were talking about was the Miami Mall. Okay, so now let's take a look because we have, let's see, there's a couple other things that I wanted to show you. So that's coming up. We're coming up to 1 year on that. And I think, here's the thing. You can believe in aliens or not believe in aliens. Doesn't matter to me. The whole point is that something cyclic is happening at this particular time frame, like this going into the winter solstice and then coming out of that. Essentially something, the way, I don't know if it's the way that our planet is aligned. I don't know if there's a full moon out. I have no clue. All I know is that something is happening in New Jersey, and it's happening in other places as well too. Minnesota was one, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that had some drones. That I saw a video come up that they couldn't explain. Colorado had one just 2 weeks ago. Los Angeles is having them, and we just saw when we were scrolling through, we just saw that one fire that's happening in California. You know, I don't know. I don't know what these are. I don't know what to think, but I'm along for the ride with you, because it seems as though there's something else happening that's hard to explain. But we have to think logically about all of it. Is it possible, like for instance, this sound that was heard on this 106.7, is it possible that this is the frequency that's being used to search for the nuke? Right? And they're picking up on it. It's interfering. Now, look, radio, okay, interference isn't something that is played through like the radio station. Radio interference is played locally. So, for example, the person in that car is in the same vicinity as the person who is in their house with their radio on tuned to 106.7. And whatever the frequency is that's being projected or interfering with that channel, okay, is localized. That is something that's really close by. This, yeah, I'm just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, just like you are. So that's why I'm doing this. You know, I originally I got to say this. I originally wanted the live stream to start the 1st of January. You know, for my channel, I just, you know, I've watched some of these videos before. I've commented on some of these videos, and, you know, I just really try to bring a sense of logical explanation to some of these theories, because it's easy to get your head lost down a rabbit hole that's inaccurate. It's really easy to do that. And it's almost like you have to weed through all of this mess, right? Social media, there's all this mess that's out there. Some of it's real, some of it's fake. Some of it could just be stars that they're looking at, right? It could just be, planes that they're seeing, and they mistake them for drones. It could be the guy next door who has his drone that he's flying out, and he's just trying to be goofy about it. It could be somebody who wants attention. But if we put the pieces together systematically, we could actually uncover something that would give us a little bit of a grain of truth. For instance, this frequency. You know, I already talked about this, but some people might be on that, looking at this right now, and they didn't hear this before. This frequency that's being played. This is in a car. It's 106.7. I went ahead and I looked it up. Okay, it's supposed to be playing Christmas music. Doesn't sound like Christmas music. It sounds like interference to me. So what kind of interference and how localized is it? Well, 106.7 would be, it's a powerful station. That's a powerful antenna. That is wherever that's located, and wherever this interference is located also was picked up by somebody else, right? So if we go back up, we can find that person who experienced it right here. This is it. 106.7. She's in her house. This is her radio that's in her house, picking up the same thing. She's localized. It's the same thing. Okay? So it's localized to a specific area. It sounds creepy, but is it just coded in a way that is undetectable to us? It's kind of it's almost interfering, and it's kind of being picked up a little bit, but it's not completely clear, and that's why it sounds like that. It could be. Is this the type of frequency that they're using to detect the nuclear radiation to find the nuke? That's scary. The whole nuke idea is very scary, and it's kind of more, to me, it's more fantastical, right? That's not a word, but it's more fantastical than aliens and Project Bluebeam, because I've studied in on that since the 90s, and I know there's maybe a possibility, but most of it seems to be in the realm of science fiction. But when you get to this is more, if they're looking for a nuke, that's more Mission Impossible style, right? That's something that pulls it home a little bit further. And that's where I tend to be a little bit more fearful of that scenario. That scenario is a tough one. That's hard. Everything else could be. We're just having fun, right? We look at these. We say, some of these are really interesting. This one right here. This is one of those drones. This looks like it's a quad. It could be a fixed wing, but it looks like a quad right there. Quad would have 4 rotors on it. Could also have 8, but it's in the X pattern. So that's what that looks like. That could be. And of course, we were watching Canadian Prepper had that video where he was talking about that they're searching for nuclear radiation as well too. And that would explain to me why the DOD, why the government is saying, "Yeah, we don't know, but don't worry about it." Because, hey, why would I want to scare you for that? I wouldn't want to scare you with something that is a nuclear bomb that they can't find. I don't want to say bomb. I want to say nuclear warhead, right? That's what they're talking about, is that it's a warhead. Let's get past a few of these. Okay, this one was from the 13th. Let's take a look at this. This looks pretty interesting. Let's see what this looks like. Turn down that music. We don't need music on this. Okay, so there looks like there's an orb to that. And then the 2 red lights move in. I mean, these things are just... Okay, the way that moved, the craft with the 2 red lights, if you watch it, when it moves up to the white, it does a swinging motion. See that swinging motion that it just did? That tells me that is a quadcopter. That's what happens. They swing like that as you're trying to level it out. They swing just like that. Yeah. See, so that's the other thing. I mean, looks like a UFO, but there's something more earthbound on that one. Here's the other thing. The frustration. The news is talking about this whole frustration of it. I get it. I get being frustrated over it because there's no information. They need to say something. They just need to say something. Because there's all of this. And that's a plane. Clearly that's a plane. That's probably a fixed wing drone, though. That could be. Let's watch this a little bit.
Was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft.
There you go.
About 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks.
Interesting.
The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat, and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow.
Wow. Okay. You can't see them. So they evade detection. They're not giving off heat. Okay, explain to me, what kind of technology are these drones using that doesn't give off heat? Everything gives off heat. And what I mean by that is even a motor, even just an electric motor, the battery, anything, gas-powered, anything, it's giving off heat. If it's using some type of propulsion, it's giving off heat. How are they not detecting it? Oh, man, that is just crazy. We are definitely going down a rabbit hole tonight. That is for sure. Yeah, the alien agenda. We're not even going to entertain. We're not even going to entertain that. I'm really kind of sticking to the drones tonight. Yep, we looked at that one. That one was pretty interesting. That to me is a quad. Fleet of UFOs captured over Taiwan. Okay, so hypothetically, that to me is boats on the ocean. I know that people will try to, they'll try to say like that they're in the air, maybe right below the cloud. That looks like boats on the ocean. I mean, you know, boats they have navigational lights. They have white lights too that they use to navigate. So that could be. See, everybody's got drone fever. It's crazy. Oh, here's something. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so see, this is saying, this is New York, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. This is from yesterday, though. That's pretty interesting. Those, you know, those could be flares. I don't know. They could be. They don't, well, they're not. They're staying in one spot. Doesn't look like it's a drone show. They look big. They're very bright. It could be approaching aircraft. It could be. A whole perspective view is that they're actually approaching, and they have their landing lights on. Let's see. What else are they capturing here? Just trying to think through some of the hypotheticals. I don't want to get too crazy on the drone stuff, right? We're talking about it tonight, but I don't want to get too, wrapped up into, that it's got to be aliens. Oh, this is interesting, guys. Look at this. That's pretty interesting. That is not an osprey. That is, what size would that be? That's manned aircraft, though. That looks like it's the size of manned aircraft. Broad daylight, New Jersey, 12/14/20. That was just this morning. Then this was today. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. It's possible that maybe they could hover with that, but that's big. That's big. So that is possible. Okay. We already went over a lot of that. I'm I'm not going to watch any of this kind of stuff. That's for another night. Tonight we're talking about drones and the Miami Mall as well too. That is coming up as well. The anniversary on that's coming up. Also the Nevada one. That Nevada crash was really interesting because that happened back, I want to say October, November of last year. So that already had its anniversary mark on that. Let's see. This is also interesting. Let's dive into this just a little bit. I know this is Alex Jones, but let's dive into it. This is actual footage, it looks like, right, from a long time ago of a swarm of unidentified objects near the Capitol. Now, what we can go right to this. We just saw, if you want, you can go back. If you're just joining us, you can go back and play some of the video that we just saw where there was something spotted near the Capitol. And then this is, of course, old footage as well. It appears as though it literally is behind the Capitol. I don't know if this has ever been something that has been, I don't want to say verified. I think verified's the wrong word, because verified to me means this is verified footage. It's legit. It's just verified in the way of, are those military aircraft back in the day, and the resolution was bad. Because resolution, let me tell you something, resolution is bad no matter what at night. Everything at night is poor resolution. Everything. Doesn't matter if you have the best 16K camera. At night, it just sucks. Okay? And it's just because there is not enough light to make out colors and detail and everything else like that. That's just how it is. And we're not there on that kind of technology yet. Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, I don't think this is legit. That doesn't seem, it seems put together. We won't entertain that. This one. Okay, so this one I do. Let's watch this one. Let's watch it real quick. We're seeing a lot of these things coming down. I don't know if those are flares. I don't know what those are. I mean, are these the
What the fuck is that?
Sorry for the language. I can't edit this out because I'm live. So the question is, could these be sky lanterns or something to that effect? You know, those like floating, the candles that use heat like a balloon and fly up and then they burn up, right? Is this something that we've seen before, or is this just another thing to put into our folder of unexplained? What is that? What? Wait a minute. Okay. So now we're diving into something else. 9 hours ago, that would have been in the day. So this would have happened. This could have maybe happened last night. I'm not sure. But it looks like.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where
it's in Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis,
okay.
The capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where
it's in Memphis.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh,
so those flashing lights, which also could be a power surge, something to that effect. Anything could be. This is that one that I was talking about that was over the Capitol. We already looked at that one. And I think there were some other ones, with that. Let's see what else there is. Not interested in that stuff. Let's take a look. Argentina. Interesting. See, here's more of these lights. Now, this to me doesn't... Let's turn that down. This doesn't look like this doesn't look to me like the satellites that are Elon Musk, his satellites. That doesn't look like them at all. Those usually are in a straight line that move across. These are kind of grouped in a pattern. We're seeing a lot of this stuff. So are these like those Chinese lanterns, those sky lanterns, is that what these are? Or are these something else altogether? But it seems like everybody's using these videos. Everybody's using these videos. Well, that's clearly a reflection of something. The way that it moves with the camera. Yeah, no, come on. I'm not going to buy that. Okay, this could be another one of those. Well, I don't know. It's moving. I was going to say it could be a star, but it's moving. Let's look at it really quick.
Look at that.
That's moving. Okay, so we were talking about an ABC
now
News.
they're running beside one another. Look.
Look, there's two.
That's clearly something.
Oh my gosh. There's two flying up fast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they just went by that one.
Yeah, look.
So wow, look at that.
They're catching one another. Look at that.
And it slows down and it stops near that one. That's insane.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, now they're running beside one another. Look.
Okay, so a lot of times people will see birds at night flying and they fly in certain patterns. That doesn't look like they're filming a bird. That clearly looks like an orb of some kind. Now, we had a gentleman mention the ABC News video that we talked about was a out of focus star, right? Now, to me, the ABC News video was very similar to this. It just didn't move, right? So hypothetically, yes, it could be an out of focus star. But look at this. This one is moving, but it looks the same. It looks similar. It looks similar. Look at that. It looks just like the ABC News one, but it's moving.
There's two flying up fast. Oh my gosh, they just went by that one.
He's got a good eye on this one. Now watch as it approaches this other one here. Watch as it catches. Look, it slows down right there to kind of catch up to it and then keeps going. How interesting. Okay.
Yeah, now they're running beside one another. Look.
I don't think that would be satellites. The way that it moved and approached and slowed down doesn't speak of satellites to me. Could this be fake? Yes, we always have to throw that out there. But the way that they are talking about this as they're filming it, right? It's grainy footage. It's not detailed. It's probably on their phone. They don't take good images at night, but what you could see clearly is an orb. So it's probably to them just a light that's in the sky. And the way that it moved was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And that was posted 14 hours ago. But who knows what time frame that comes from? That's another thing. I have no idea what time frame that comes from. This light over the Capitol is popping up a lot. So people are really interested in that. That seems to be something that's coming up a lot. This is saying California. This, I believe, is actually real. They're calling it blue beam. This could be SpaceX, though. It's saying it's in California.
Look!
This could be SpaceX. That could be a rocket launch.
needs to get the boys.
That could be a rocket launch. Somebody said it's a shooting star. That could be a rocket launch. But I like it. I like that video. Don't get me wrong. I do like that video. Here's one that's hovering here. What is this from? Philadelphia. This is 2 days ago. Let's see what we got on this one. Doesn't appear to have any sound to it. It has its indicator lights. It is flash. You know what that looks like to me? That looks like a fixed wing hovering. You know what that looks like to me? That looks like what we just saw that lady captured up here. What is that? Where was that? We've gone through a lot. Right here. This. That's what that looks like. Something like that hovering. That's what that looks like. Just at night. Yeah. I'm telling you, the nuke thing scares me. That one, if that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what would. But there's obviously something going on. See if there's anything else. Oh, we're hitting 11:30. It's been a good stream, I gotta say. Thanks for, the guys who commented in. I really appreciate that. Shout out to them. Watching from Minnesota, it looks like. Father and son, both applied physics majors. Hey, I appreciate you guys listening in. I mean, that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that and commenting. It's crazy because all of these drones, right? That there are these, they call them drones, but you can't really call them drones, right? They're UAPs. They're unidentified aerial phenomenon. Until they're identified as such, you can't really call them anything. Some of them, though, you can tell they are fixed wing aircraft, and they could be piloted, though. They might not be drones. But some of this stuff is really interesting. Some of these night cameras, such as this one. Who knows when this came from? It says that it just came recently, but who's to say? Everybody puts up this information. They put it up just when everything is just really just exploding with so I wonder if these are, this is interesting. This is interesting. I think this could be legit here. Let's listen in. Oh, it's got music. I hate the music. And I still don't know why people do it. That would be really hard to fake with those vehicles moving in front of it. So I do believe that they saw something, a swarm of something there. And watch how that one drops down right there. See, everything else stays up. That one drops down. Look at that. And he seems to be stopped. They all appear to be moving. I don't know what direction, but they appear to be moving in a direction. Okay, I'm going to do a few more, and then I'm going to call it a night. We're getting close to the midnight hour, which is very fascinating. But I do appreciate everybody for watching and going through this. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the drone that they're seeing. Doesn't that look like not an Osprey, but it looks like the type of aircraft Let's take a look and let's dive into this a little bit here. Okay, so when I talk about the ospreys, okay, this is what I'm talking about right here. I'm going to show you. Okay, so look at this, and then here, look at this here that I'm going to show you. It's right here. Okay, this is the osprey. So obviously, military aircraft, capable of vertical takeoff and landing. Can they hover?
The sky.
Let's
Some
see.
of them look a little
They can.
suspect, but there's others.
Let's turn that down. Let's go back to where we were at. So they can hover. I mean, the way that I'm thinking of hovering is different than I think typically the question that I'm asking is not, are they capable of vertical takeoff and landing? I do realize they are. They are capable of that. So they can hover. But do they only do hovering during that time? Or does the Osprey allow for hovering mid-flight and allow for slow flight movements that are similar to a helicopter? The other question would be, I wonder what kind of sound these drones are making. What kind of sound are they making when they are flying? Because it seems to me that you would be able to tell if it's a helicopter, right? Or wouldn't you be able to tell if it's a drone? Are they quiet? Are they silent? They're clearly not detectable. The police have sent up their own drones, and they cannot see them. They don't produce a heat signature. That is fascinating. Fascinating information that they don't produce a heat signature. It looks like there are propellers on that one video that you can see. So I wonder what these are. The fact that the sheriff was saying the deputies saw it coming, like 50 of them coming out of the ocean, was pretty fascinating. Okay, hold on. I got something else here. Hold on. Let's listen to this. This is another video. Well, that's the same video here of that sound. This is that interference sound that's happening in New Jersey on the radio station. This is clearly a different video, different car.
Fuck?
Sorry for the language, because we're live. Well, that's different.
Oh my fucking god, I'm freaking out.
Oh, that's different. That's scary different. Okay, this looks like another car that somebody recorded. The frequencies happening in New Jersey right now. Okay, remember, we looked it up. That is they're trying to play Christmas music on that station. We did look it up. If you want, check out the rest of the video, because right now it's live, so you can go back to it. Yeah, they're trying to play Christmas music, and you get that. That is clearly, there's clearly other, see, dozens of videos uploaded with this. At this tone, this low frequency, it sounds like a growling. Still on, but then watch, it tries to switch over, like it's interfering. That is the creepiest thing. That is the creepiest thing. Out of all of this distraction, out of everything that we are going through, that we're investigating, that we're looking into, this has to be one of the creepiest things. Look, it's one thing if it's played in one car, but it's another thing to have it be multiple people experiencing the same thing, and they had the wherewithal to grab their phone and record it. So far, we've seen 4 videos of this frequency being shown, being listened to, right? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I got about 20 more minutes, and then I'll kind of close up at midnight. I mean, more of these things falling out of the sky, right? I think we've seen that video, though. Let's see if we can kind of go through some of these. I'm really trying to focus on the drone. The drones tonight. The drones, the aliens, the Miami aliens. Well, here you go. Here you go. I said that I would. This is that video. Guys, check this out. This is that video.
Mysterious drones.
This is what they had where they were shooting at it. And I said, I think that's fake because it's something's off about the way those tracer rounds are firing. They match the camera. They don't go, they're not just moving out there. So this proves right here, this is the same footage. Nobody's shooting at it. So just so you know, that other one was completely fake.
These are military crafts. These are not extraterrestrials. They are not extraterrestrials. These are military craft. I'm looking at it. I hear it. That is a military.
He says he hears it. So he does hear something. I don't hear it on the camera. And trust me, when I have a Chinook flying over, I hear it. And I can record that sound as well, too. So that's pretty interesting. What fascinates me, though, is that the sheriff's department sends their own drones up and they can't spot them. They don't have a heat signature. So that fascinates me as well, too. And we watched that video. So if you guys want to see that video, go back and check that out for sure. And I will try to break this up and put out different clips for you guys to see what we talked about. I'll try to do that tomorrow.
It's very low. You can see how low it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this gives us a date. This is good for us to know. This gives us a date and a time. This was taken around 6 p.m. Eastern time in New Jersey on December 4th, so 10 days ago. That gives us some good information that's valuable for us to use when we go through and we decipher some of this stuff. Let's see. There was a drone crash. Let me see if I could find that. It just recently came up, and I saw that. Yeah, here it is. But okay, so what they were considering. Okay, let's get this out into the open here, because this was the video. There was a video of a drone crash that somebody was filming, and they were like, "Get that on video. It's the drones. It's the drones," and it wasn't. It's actually a plane crash. I'm going to see if I can find it really quick here. Just hang with me. I'm trying to find that video because I want to put the two together so you guys can see how perception is actually what gets us, and all of this craze stuff that's happening with these drones. It's how it gets us worked up. Makes your mind play tricks on you for sure. I want to see if I can find it. Trying to think of where I saw it prior to all of this. Where did I see that? I'm going to try to find it because I want you guys to see this, but I will show you that this appears to be it.
In Westchester County tonight, where a small plane from New Jersey crashed on the highway just short.
So this wing, the way that the cops had their lights shining on it, there was people who were crossing the bridge at a distance. If this plane, let's say, was facing east, it would be west. So it would be behind the plane, not running parallel to, running opposite to that highway, and it going over that highway as a bridge. And they filmed this, and from a distance, the way that that wing was shaped looked like some of these fixed wing drones, okay? And so you couldn't make out a tail number or anything like that. But now what they're saying is this is a small plane crash. It happened 2 days ago. That makes sense. Looks like it's in New York. People are saying, I wonder if drones were involved. See, everybody gets drone fever. They get crazy on this.
Eyewitness News reporter Josh Onager live on the scene with the breaking information tonight. Josh.
Well, Bill, Sandra, you can see all the lights behind me. That's I-684, which is closed right now in both directions by the White Plains Westchester County Airport after this small plane fell from the sky. Tonight, investigators stood watch over the wreckage in the middle of I-684, a small single-engine plane in ruins on the center median, right on top of the New York-Connecticut border. The pilot tried to land at White Plains Airport
right there. See how that...
Emergency.
Right there. This is the image that you'll see from these people claiming that this was a drone crash. This is the image right here from this bridge that you'll see. And look at it. It looks like it's a drone. Like it looks like it's a drone that is facing up like the embankment. But it's not. It's a plane crash. Okay? But because we've got drones on our mind, because we're thinking too much into this whole alien stuff and everything that's going on, everybody's, you know, somebody could easily clip this and post it as a drone crash. And guess what? People are going to look at that and believe it. But this is what it really is. It's a plane crash. And unfortunately, somebody perished.
Mike is emergency inbound runway straight in for 1 second.
Over 2985 Mike, Westchester Tower, wind 30012, gust 22. The lights are up, runway 16, cleared to land.
Clear to land 16.
It's really sad. I actually send out thoughts and prayers for his families because that is incredibly sad. I know when I fly, I fly the small Cessnas. It's safe but dangerous, okay? And a lot of it has to do with pilot error. Now, yes, is it at night? Did it happen at night? Who knows if it crashed going into a twilight hour or if it was like who's to say what time it crashed? I'm sure that they would say, but the footage that's coming out is at night. And so people are making this out to be the drones, and it's not the drones. So we'll keep that in mind. And then, of course, you have these drones as well that they're claiming that they are. I absolutely do not think that these are ones that are involved. I think they have bigger drones. And I don't like to call them drones, but they're manned aircraft, and then they're unmanned aircraft. That's really what they are. Oh, we're almost done. Got 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, and then I'm heading out. We went over this video in the beginning. I looked at that video. Okay, here again is the lights near the Capitol. That could be I want to say like a forced perspective, right? Like they're aircraft that are coming in to land, and they just happen to look like that. Granted, they don't have any kind of identifying lights on them, but sometimes they could appear as white lights. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know how legitimate this is, but we can take a look at this before we go. Okay, so remember what somebody had recently commented was that something like this, there was an ABC News video that we can reference back to. This is very similar to that in that it was an out-of-focus star. So, is that the same thing? It almost looks like it's kind of flashing, although it's not. Yep, it has two flashing lights on it, left and right. They look like strobe lights. So, hypothetically, let's talk about it before we close up. Is that what you're seeing in this image right here is not, that's due to light refracting, right? From the lens of the camera, the air molecules in the sky. There's so many different things that cause that scatter of light. Nothing is perfect, right? So no different than when you look up to the streetlights and they kind of have like that haze around them, or they have some, so when I look at this, when he zooms in, it's almost like the sensor on the camera is not fully picking up like even the strobing of it. Now the strobes are two white strobes. I don't see any indicators that are red and green on this, but I do see in this, where he zooms out, the two white strobes. So that looks like that could be manned aircraft. It also could be a fixed wing drone. Let's see if we get any detailed. I can hear engines. That could be a commercial craft on that one. Interesting. Okay, so the other thing that, we got 5 minutes. Let's talk about this really quick. Pilots that are seeing UFOs, okay? This was in
Piloting
Oregon.
that life flight call to the North Bend, Coos Bay area, and
Let's
the
look at this.
UFO in question, if you look closely on your screen, that little red dot that floats in and out of the video.
That was the one that was at our altitude that would come up to us and sit for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then it would go back out over the ocean, over the horizon.
He and his crew witnessed this mysterious object continue this odd behavior from more than 20 miles away for about 20 minutes total. This came after a United Airlines flight reported seeing similar mysterious objects zipping through the sky, ranging between 30,000 and 50,000 feet in altitude.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. You know, they're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy.
One researcher suggests it's a light bouncing off a Starlink satellite over the Pacific Ocean, catching the eye of pilots, something that's reportedly happened before. But Joe says this ain't that.
I don't think Starlink, like I said, satellites don't typically change directions. But then again, I could be wrong, but I honestly don't think it was. I've never seen a satellite move like that.
I reached out to the Federal Aviation Administration to see if they can confirm this UFO sighting. They kept it short and sweet, saying a pilot saw unidentified lights. The good news is it's not believed Joe or his crew were in any danger as they continued to fly down to Coos Bay and back up to their station in Aurora. But the mysterious object popped up on his traffic collision avoidance system. He says that's not something that a light reflection can do.
TCAS works off a transponder code. So for something to register, it was registering like an aircraft. So the weird thing is we were seeing it as an aircraft inside the aircraft, but ATC wasn't showing it on their radar.
Whatever it was, Joe and many others hope they can get clear answers. Reporting in Eugene, I'm Aaron Ariano.
Wow. Okay, so talk about crazy. All of this drone stuff that's coming out, and then you have a pilot essentially testifying that it's not a satellite. It was moving towards him, hovering, and then moving away from him. I didn't realize about the Starlink refraction type thing that they were mentioning. I didn't realize that. But he seemed to say that that's not what this is. Has nothing to do with that. And it was registering as an aircraft to them inside their aircraft, but not to ground control, right? To the tower with radar. Interesting. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. Love that. That's actually a good place to end because we are out of time. So listen, thank you so much for everybody who has hopped in and watched on the live stream. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do this as much as I can to kind of get more information out to you guys. We're going to watch some videos and we're going to talk about different things, and you can always give me a call. You can always call in, you can chat, and you can kind of let me know what you think certain things are and what your opinion is, because that's what matters. And we're looking at everything with more of a logical explanation. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We also are streaming on Kick, Instagram, and X. Granted, we are trying this out, so this whole multi-stream experience, I'm not sure if everything kind of goes through all the time. So sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not, but hopefully this has been a really good experience for you. With that being said, there is a couple things that I do want to mention is that I wrote a book, and that's the whole premise of Tales in the Night. Okay. And I wrote a book about that. And it's free on Amazon Kindle, and you're more than welcome to go up there and take a look at it and read a few of these scary stories that I wrote, because I have just this fascination with mystery and paranormal and everything else and things that go bump in the night. Okay, that's my fascination. And I wrote this book in order to be, these are all fictional tales about different things that I thought of and that I created in different stories. You know, some involve scary things like time travel and AI, right? Ghostly origins, even aliens. There's even some alien stories in this. So please take a look at it and give me your honest feedback. You know, I'd really appreciate that. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I will try to get a few of these videos clipped up and put on my YouTube so you can check them out in case you missed anything. But for tonight, it looks like we're all done. 2.5 hours. Wow. We went for a long time. Didn't feel like it, though, to me. But until tomorrow night, I will see you guys later.